Good everyone, welcome to today's video, and today we have a review on the A7M1 NK9H. This was the most expensive premium that I picked up in the sale, and in the overview video I showcased that. And to be brutally honest, I can definitely see why this thing is worth it at that price. Now the full price of this aircraft is a bit awkward. If I remember rightly, it's 2,100 and I believe 30 Golden Eagles or something in that region. No, it's 2,100 something. And it's a very awkward price. In fact, no, 2,190 is what it is. I've just remembered it. It's a very awkward price range and costing 1,145 GE on the sale, which was 50% off. Do I think it's worth that price, that commitment of just over 2k Golden Eagles, when you can get Japawulf or Ki-96 for a lot less? Yes, I do. Purely because this aircraft is absolutely awesome. Now, bear in mind, I have not flown a A7M model, either the M1, because obviously I didn't have it, or the M2 for a long time. The last time I did was when I spaded the A7M2, and that was quite a while back. Subsequently, it took a lot for me to relearn this aircraft. I knew what it could do, but I had to get back into the swing of things with this thing. And this thing was easily one of the best Japanese planes that I've flown in a long time. So coming in at rank 3 battle rating 5.0, this aircraft is generally referred to as a UFO, and it earns that title, I should really say, very well. And even it's that good, it even makes Stalin Dora pilots, because yes, people actually bought those bloody things, cry that they can't outclimb you. Okay, I'm just gonna put that out there, but yeah, this thing is actually really good in the climb. It's very good in horizontal maneuvers. Its vertical energy retention is a bit okay. Like, it's not as good as I was expecting, but it's still good enough to the point where you can easily energy trap the majority of opponents that you will fight. The only exception to that is a Yak 3, because we all know how those bloody things fly. So, in terms of armament, we have two 20mm Type 99 Model 2 cannons with 400 rounds between them, and we also have two 13.2 Type 3 machine guns with 600 rounds of ammunition. Now, luckily for you lot, that is not the MG131 copy that the Japanese tech tree has in some of their planes. This is quite, I think it's based off the Browning. I don't remember the history of the Type 3 machine gun. It's something that slipped my mind, but it has extremely high velocity for a Japanese weapon, and it has incredible damage as well. It's not hitting like the Swedish 13.2s, but it's certainly up there. Let's put it that way. So what are the differences between the A7M1 NK9H and the A7M2? Well, from what my testing I took the both planes into a custom battle to test them. I found that the A7M1 was a bit slower but turned a bit better, and the A7M2 had access to a bit more ordnance, was faster at most altitudes, if not all, and generally just felt not as pleasing to fly, if that makes sense. But having that extra speed was a bit helpful. Now, having the A7M1 as the premium, I think was the good call. I think this aircraft is definitely worth the 1145G or whatever the price is. It feels like they change the prices or whatever, but I know they don't, but it certainly feels like it because of these awkward price ranges. But for the price, this thing is definitely worth it. Now, you do gain access to some slight ordnance. I wouldn't even call it that. Recommended belts, by the way, 13.2 set to ground, 20mm set to uni. About 500 to 400 meters convergence I would recommend. In terms of your ordnance, and this is laughable, two 60-kilogram bombs. These are like dropping hand grenades. In fact, no, the standard US M67 frag grenade would probably do more than what these bombs can. Let's put it that way. I'm obviously making a joke there before anyone gets all serious, saying, "Oh, it's got like 8 grams of TNT compared to this," and blah blah blah. It's called a joke before anyone starts, because there's always going to be that one. But these are definitely hand grenade bombs. Just don't bother with them. If you're using the A7M1 for ground attack, I question your ability to think. And subsequently, this aircraft is not for ground pounding. If you really want a ground attacking Japanese aircraft, just tell us when the A7M2. If you really want to be that desperate. But for the price, this thing's worth it. I would actually argue it's better than Japawulf. And that's coming a lot from me, who loves Antons. But I would argue this thing is better. So let's get into the battle and let's go over the A7M1. In this battle, I was squadded up with Bertie Burt, one of my moderators on my Discord server, and also a trusted wingman. And he's also German, so he complains a lot, but we'll just gloss over that. That's a common joke as well. But he wanted to take out, I think he was in his, I can't remember what he was flying, but I know he wanted to spade it around this BR. I think he was in his N1K1. And I said to him, do you mind if I tag along with my A7M1? And he was like, sure. So I brought along my A7M1. And off we go. So as you can tell, I do not have the bombs strapped because there's no point. They're just drag, to be brutally honest. They might as well be drag. Now you'll notice I'm climbing at 15 degrees, but then I slowly increase the climb angle to 20. That's because I found the A7M1 to climb better the higher it got. I know that seems weird, but to me, it felt like it climbed better the higher I went up. It was when you started to hit about 17,000 feet is when it started to drop off. And there's the hit power of these weapons. Kill number 1 on the AM1. And there's an A7M1 then. Hey, everyone makes mistakes. Do a bit of neg-G there to get the shot on the NK9H. And he's going to burn up for kill number 2. Using the remaining energy that I do have, I decided to reclimb the aircraft and get some more altitude. There goes kill number 2. And this battle was, well, it's going to get a little messy, let's put it that way. There's a lot of Spitfires on the enemy team, and it's just going to be a massive furball for the most part. But this thing can certainly hang with that. Now sure, you're not exactly going to be having... Like, you're not going to be able to take a hit. This thing is rather fragile, being a Japanese aircraft. But I find the wings, if you don't get hit in the fuel tanks, are actually pretty damn tough. SO8000 Narval, I come in for a head-on, fire a burst, get out of the way, pilot snipe him for kill number 3. I roll the aircraft to get on this Spitfire. It's a Mark 14E. I hit him a few times, but the compression's kicking in. This thing does compress a bit at about 380 miles an hour. Convert that to kilometers an hour, because I don't actually know it. Because I use miles an hour, I don't use kilometers an hour. But in a moment, we're about to get attacked by another Spitfire. I'm trying to catch up to the 14E, but as you can tell, it's going okay, but my spider sense was tingling, and sure enough, an LF Mark 9 has just made a pass at us. I decided to continue the pursuit of the Griffin Spitfire. This turned out to be a good call. I bitch slap him, and I turned to dodge the LF Mark 9. Again, sorry for the weird sound bug, that is on Gaijin's end, I cannot fix that. Bertie comes in with his M1K1 and begins opening up. I'm trying to hit it with the 13.2s at longer ranges, but it's just not happening. That leaves that Spitfire over there, a B-17 and a NK9H that is already dead. And that is it. And speaking of the NK9, you just saw him there. He's about to crash in just a moment. At this point, I decided I'm not going to be able to catch the LF Mark 9. I'm going to go for some ground targets. As expected, the A7M1's 13.2mm machine guns are really good against ground targets. The 20mm are good as well, but I find the 13.2s to be better for the most part. And this is all I do for the last 3 minutes of the match. It's just nice and simple. The J5N1 gets the kill on the Spitfire. And that's all we're really going to do for the next few minutes, since the B-17 is going to crash on landing approach. And I just decided, well, I might as well get some ground targets. And I ended up getting 16 after almost running out of ammunition doing it. But even the 20mm work against ground targets really well. And that's pretty much that. So like I say, for the price of around about 1145 GE on a sale, and about 2000 off sale, this thing's a cracking pickup. If you don't like Focke-Wulfs, this aircraft is certainly the one I would recommend if you don't like Focke-Wulfs and you prefer to be more traditional with your Japanese aircraft with familiar playstyles. But anyway, I'm going to let you guys off. I hope you enjoyed today's review on the A7M1 NK9H, and I will catch you all on the next one.